Hey YouTube, it's Tech Savvy Solution here, and after a long break from YouTube, I am back, finally, after a few long busy weeks, and I'm here with a review and unboxing of the 4G Blackberry Torch 9810, in other words, the Torch 2. So just to give you guys a little background on what the Torch 2 has to offer over its Torch 1 predecessor, I'm going to give you a few highlights of the two devices. So first, we have not a 624 MHz processor, but double that in the Torch 2, 1.2 GHz processor to be exact. And that's also coupled with a 768 megabytes of RAM over the Torch 1's 512 megabytes of RAM. So those two factors in itself will give the Torch 2 a much better performance over the Torch 1. And not just that, but its screen, although it's still the same, 3.6 inches across, it is now bumped up in resolution to 480 by 640 pixels per inch, or per square inch, while the Torch 1 only has 360 by 480 pixels for its resolution. But enough of me talking about this. Let me just go ahead and give you a look around. Okay, here's the box, and now let's get to the unboxing. Alright. So we have the phone, which I'm obviously going to save for last in the box. We'll briefly go through everything else. We have your USB port connected to an AC adapter. We have earbuds, and you can control your calls through this. And then you have a microfiber cloth to clean your nice screen, which I do need to know is does very well in protecting it itself from scratches. Props to Blackberry for that. Had no problems with the screen, even though I had no screen protector on it. Still no scratches. And then, of course, we have the safety and product information, the usual legal jargon and stuff that you shouldn't set your phone on fire for fear of your own safety. And then, of course, we have this sheet about how to connect to your computer and synchronize your data and everything. In addition to that, we have the Blackberry Torch Quick Start Guide, and just to give you an idea of how user-friendly and picture-abundant it is. Awesome diagrams on everything you need to know or would want to know on how to use your Blackberry. Okay, stuff aside, let's get to the real stuff, which is obviously the phone. So, specs wise, I already told you about the processor, but in terms of the actual things that this phone can do, it is a GSM phone, so although I have the AT&T version of it, you can use it worldwide and get it unlocked. It's quad-band GSM. It was released in August of 2011, and, well, I mean, this review is coming just a bit late, but it's still quite a new phone. Its weight is pretty hefty at 161 grams, but it gives it a nice solid feel. Unlike some Samsung devices in particular, the Galaxy S phones, they cost a fortune, but they're so light, which is great, but not exactly the feel I'm looking for. However, if you're looking for a nice premium solid feel, the Blackberry Torch has it for you. As for the screen, it is a TFT capacitive touchscreen and very nice response. 16 million colors. For memory, you have 8 gigabytes of internal storage. However, you can also put in your micro SD card in the back here, and it's expandable up. Oops, I don't have one in here right now, but it's expandable up to 32 gigs if you so choose. That's great. And while we're in the back, we have a 12,070 milliamp hour battery, and I've gotten, average battery life. It'll last you for a day, and then you're gonna have to hit the charger with that. But your SIM card goes in here, obviously, and yeah. My only complaint is that you have to remove your battery to get access to these kind of things, except for your SIM card or your micro SD card, which is hot swappable. Quite nice. Alright, so while we're on the back, we have a 5 megapixel camera with flash. That's great. And then we have our standard 3.5mm headphone jack over here. or volume rocker. The keys are, you know, they have a nice response to them, even though you might think that just by the looks of them, they're squishy and unresponsive. No, I wouldn't say that. They're quite easy to press. And the same thing goes for the camera button over here, which is very convenient, as not that many phones have a dedicated camera button. As for connectivity options, we have a micro USB port here to connect from your phone to the computer, transfer files. And on the top, something unexpected, because we usually don't get that many buttons on the top, but BlackBerry decided to have your lock button over here. You know, that's common for many devices, but it's so sleek and flush if you just look with the rest of the phone. Very nice, aesthetically. And over here, we have our mute switch for the ringer. And you just pretty much press it as you do the lock button. So let's go ahead and press the lock button. And we're greeted with the set of, oh my gosh, you should read this first and not sue us if anything goes wrong with your device, and then you'll click OK. But while we're on the front, we have our traditional buttons here, call and BlackBerry menu button, as well as a back button, very useful, and then the infamous trackpad that allows you to navigate without touching the screen, even though this is a touchscreen device. Over here, we have our infamous LED light, which I think is what makes BlackBerry stand out for the rest of the devices. It's just like, it's in the front, it's out there, and you don't need to like turn on your phone, unlock your phone, and like click the refresh button on your Gmail page or something waiting for an email, whatever. It'll tell you, you know, like, it's so discreet, and at the same time very helpful because it tells you your notifications. And over here, it's not a front-facing camera, unfortunately. It is the it is just a sensor for the screen brightness. So unfortunately, it's not a secondary camera. Okay, that was a lot of talking. So what I'm gonna do now is not have the SIM card inserted. Just gonna click continue. Although call quality, I do have to note, it's just average. It's not crystal clear or anything. However, you're still able to make out the other person on the other line, which is good. Alright, so when you have your device open, it's going to walk you through the traditional steps of BlackBerry. So I'm going to say continue, and it'll show a demo of how great your phone is. I'm like, okay, sweet. So I'm watching a video of my phone on my phone. Please get to the good stuff. And I'm going to exit out of that. And as you can see, my battery is about, like, almost, like, dead. So I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to a charger right now. And then we can go ahead and get to the good stuff of this phone. Okay. So as you notice, when I connected this phone to the charger, it automatically gives me this like clock lock screen. And that's just basically just a nice useful feature for the phone. However, I do need to note with the alarm clock, it only has one alarm. So I didn't really appreciate that. Fortunately enough, you do have the Blackberry App Store. And you can go ahead and download apps from there. It's the Appworld, my bad. But you can go ahead and download apps from there. And if you don't like the stock apps, just get a new app. But the thing I don't really like about the App Store here, or in the Appworld, is that it's just, the selection is very limited, and most of the apps are not free. They either have trials, or you just have to pay for them. So, in addition to that, I'm going to note that BlackBerry does have a slide-up keyboard. Something that might have been a surprise for people that aren't aware of the torch, or didn't pay attention to the box in the front that has the slide-up. But this keypad is, again, average. It's not the best that BlackBerry has to offer, but it definitely is able to type well. I'm just going to give you an example of that. I'm going to click on my messages, and I'm going to just, write one. So let's write a text message. So, let's see. The quick brown fox cannot type very well, but the BlackBerry keyboard does a pretty decent job with the messaging experience. Okay, so as you can see, I don't know, or maybe you can't see with my camera here, but see if I can have it angled. No avail. But okay, maybe here we go. Okay, so at this angle, you can see the amount of like errors that I have in my typing, but overall, for the speed that I went at, and just like the keyboard, again, it's not going to kill your messaging, but definitely isn't the easiest keyboard that I found to type on. So while we're at the messaging experience, if I go ahead and long press it, we have a few options to play around with. We have spell check for words that are like underlined, and we also have clear field, add a smiley, and you have a whole bunch of emoticons to add. So let's add this one. You have like this little smiley face here. It's basically a palm of the face. Anyways, you have that, and then you also have, like, you can select the text, and after that you can copy or like cut or cancel the selection. And your last option, or your other option, is to attach a file with your text message. Or if you want the full gamut of options, you have the full Blackberry menu here. And yeah, I'm not going to go through all that. So that is the messaging experience. As for the other things that you can do with your device, we have the browser over here, and just to give you a test of speed, let me go ahead and first set my wireless options to connect to the internet. I'm going to turn on Wi-Fi and connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my WAP, and then I'll get back to you in just a bit. Okay, so right now we're connected to the internet, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my web browser. And let's just give you an idea of the loading time by going to engadget.com. Engadget.com. Oops. Alright, so let's go ahead and select that again. Oh wait, hold up. Wait, I'm searching for my bookmarks. Oh, my fail. Okay, let's type here. www.engadget.com. See if I can give you a better viewing angle here. Alright, so here's the mobile version, and so you can see the scrolling is quite smooth. But let's go to the desktop version. See if I can give you an angle on that. Oops. Alright. There it goes. Alright, so it's loading quite fast. I mean, my Wi-Fi network is fast as it is, but the phone itself is quite nice. Although, if you don't wait for it to load all the way, it does get this checkerboard effect. But once it's done rendering, then it'll be able to have a better and smoother experience. Hopefully it's not as bad as PSP Vita's browser. That I'm going to be reviewing next. So, stay tuned for that, by the way. Wait for the final load. And checkerboard effect is already improving. Alright, so now it's done. And when it's done loading, like, you basically don't get any of the checkerboard. you have that 1.2 gigahertz processor with the 768 megabytes of RAM. That really helps. But enough of me scrolling. Let's see how pinch to zoom works. And it's so fluid. It's like, I could compare it to that of the iPhones. Not like exactly, but it's very fluid. So we also double tap. Whoa. And it just hung up just a bit over there. Double tap to zoom, and it'll go ahead and reposition the text for you so it's nice and easy to read. I really appreciated that. Well, sometimes it has like hang-ups, but if you have a site as intensive as Engadget.com, you're definitely going to have that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's test Phone Arena, and that's notoriously slow on phones. Kind of ironic, but again, kind of like Engadget.com, it's very like graphic intensive, has a lot of media and stuff on it, so let's take this one to the test. See how scrolling is. Wow, not bad. Of course you have like random advertisements. Like, why would you do that? The X button like ship shapes and moves around so we can't click it. Okay. See what I mean? It like moves. So annoying. No. Okay. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm not gonna put up with this, so let's try a different website. Let's do CNN. And then you get to mobile view, but let's take a look at the full site. And just as a note, you can also use the trackpad as a little like computer mouse, and that's really nice if you don't think that your fingers are like being that precise. Just go ahead and scroll over to what you want to click on. Boom. You can also use it to zoom in. Let me get that magnifying glass up. It's pretty nice. And like, I don't know if you can tell by the camera, which kind of distorts color, but this white phone looks purple on the screen, but it's actually white. And the whites on this screen, I think, are just stunning. Like, all the colors really pop out with the Blackberry, and that's one thing that I liked over some of the other phones. Not to pick on Samsung again, but its whites are a little washed out with the Super AMOLED, which is weird because Super AMOLED is just freaking awesome, but the whites I don't think are as crisp as the ones that I see in this Blackberry. So just some note to that. And again, pinch zoom is smooth for the most part without the occasional hiccup, but yeah, quite nice. So that gives you a pretty good idea of the web browsing experience. Of course, on top here you can have a host of options, like to add a search engine to this, add to bookmarks, add to home screen, and then of course you have this kind of nice visual on amount of pages that you can open. Like for history here, you can add Engadgets, and then once that's loading, you can like add another page. And yeah, it's basically pretty great. Now I'm gonna, instead of clicking the back button, I'm just gonna click on this power button to get back to my home screen. That'll take me back to the menu here. And I'm gonna show you around with the Blackberry Appworld. And of course you have this license agreement and you click accept. I'll start loading things, and I'm just gonna show you the apps that are available. So let's just say I want to maps and navigation. So you have like a Wise Pilot GPS navigator, that's free. You also have a GPS tool, which is free. A lot of these, like I said, like they are free, but once you turn to like other categories such as just search alarm clock. Something as simple as that would show many hits on the Android market. I'm gonna search this on the Appworld. Just look at all of them. And you have an alarm clock. Highly configurable, easy to use multiple alarms, but it's $2.99. And then you have a free trial of it though. However, I think you'd have to pay for it. It's a fully functional free trial for 7 days. That's a bummer. We also have the puzzed alarm clock, which is like, you have to like solve a puzzle in order to snooze your alarm clock or turn it off. And then you have a musical alarm clock, but like if you just notice, like something so simple as an alarm clock is like, it's either a free trial or like you just have to buy it. And then of course you have these ridiculous premium clocks, the Protector, the Castillas designer desktop alarm, and like I'm like, who in the world's gonna pay $89 just to have this like graphic shown on your Blackberry? As if your Blackberry wasn't expensive enough. I mean, for real? But yeah, you have this, and like, just as I've noticed, not just with the alarm clock, but apps in general, you'll get your very basic apps, and you'll be able to find them all on the Blackberry Appworld. But if you're looking for like, oh, the specific alarm clock that I want, or like the specific type of app that's, or like music player that like I like the way they organize my music this way, you're not gonna get that much of a selection for the Appworld. But it's definitely like the things that they offer here is definitely like, it's definitely acceptable. It's definitely a decent selection of apps, but it's not going to be like the myriad of apps that you're going to find elsewhere in the like Android market, or now it's called the Play, their marketplace, or of course the App Store. Can't forget that either. So, along with that, we have access to themes. So if you don't like AT&T's default blue theme, let's take a look at top free themes. We have Color Silk Promotion. Really? Never tried this one. Let's try it. So, I'm going to go ahead and download that. Oops. Okay, and when you want to download an app, BlackBerry is going to prompt you with the, oh, you have to sign in with your BlackBerry ID and password and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into mine, but you can also create your new one. So I've already played around with this device before, so just sign in for you guys. Alright, so looks like I'm in. And hopefully this is installed. Take a look at the progress here. Alright, so timed out. Alright. Okay. So it's successfully installed. And so once a theme is installed, BlackBerry will automatically detect that it's has been installed. And I'm gonna say yes, please activate. And hopefully that did it. So I'm gonna exit back to my home screen. And whoa, look at the background. And you can see like the new graphic up here. Let's take a look at the icons. About the same for the most part, but very nice. I kind of like how this like, if you see the highlight, it's different like that, and how everything is arranged in that kind of colored stripe. Very nice, very nice. I'm a fan. So these are like a few things that you could be doing with theming your BlackBerry. Although I would say that iPhone, if you jailbreak it, and Android offer many more themes for the device. Theming is quite popular nowadays, so hopefully BlackBerry will catch that cue and more people will be making themes for the device. Okay, so that was a quick tour on the Blackberry Appworld, and let's take a look at some of the other basic features of this phone. So, I'm going to delve into my calendar. Look at the month. I don't know if this is synchronized with my accounts or not. Probably not, because I'd have like billions of stuff here. But, so you have your basic features. You have add an event, and you have a bunch of options that you can choose. Not really gonna go into that, but it's there, and I think it's quite useful. Then we have the day view. Then we have the month view again, the week view. This is nice. And then we have our agenda. Look at all my free time. And of course, you go to the day in an agenda view. So that's a calendar. It's pretty basic, something that you could find on iOS, but I think it's pretty clean, well laid out, something that the HP's calendar, the WebOS calendar, reminds me of that. Even though the skin is different and everything, but the options are pretty universal. You can find a calendar like this on Android, and I would assume iOS as well. And here's your menu for that. Alright, so in addition to the camera, we have our music, or media. So under our media, we have YouTube, music, pictures, video camera, Slacker radio, which is the online radio, as well as podcasts. So let's take a look at the music player. One song. Turns out they give us a sample song, but let's go ahead and play it. So at max volume, here's what the loudspeaker gives us. And it's pretty loud. I mean, you can feel it vibrating, and it's giving out pretty good acoustics. And it doesn't really distort the sound when it's at full volume. And then, in addition to that, we have our, I don't know what it's called. We have this button, well, I'm blanking out, but, we have this button to go back to the beginning of the song. Play, pause, or stop altogether. And then, of course, skip to the next song. But we only have one song, so it doesn't really skip. On the top, we have a repeat, or repeat only one song, and then our shuffle button as well. And of course, our BlackBerry option menu, which changes every time you switch to a different application. And it customizes it according to that. Let's look at Media Home. So Media Home will bring us to the media folder, and it'll give us access to pictures and everything else. So with the pictures, here's our wallpaper. We have a couple of options here. We can rotate it, but I can't save rotation because the images, the preloaded images in BlackBerry is like, no, it's my image. I'm not going to let you rotate it. But you also have options for viewing it in slideshow mode, and it'll do this cool transition effect between images. You know, it's nice if you want to show your friends your pictures. In addition to that, you do have pinch to zoom. I don't know if you have double tap. No, I guess not. But you can also move around the image over here. It's nice that it shows you where you are in the image, in case you get lost, you know, staring at those leaves. But that's pretty basic. And of course, you have your list view instead of just picture view. And you can select multiple images if you want to delete them. However, you can't delete these because they're built into the system and protected. And as always, your BlackBerry menu is going to change every time or every application that you switch to. So you can set each of these as your wallpaper if you so choose to. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to select this picture. I think it's cool. And I'm going to assign it as a wallpaper. Okay, seems pretty quick. Nope. Still didn't do it. Let's try again. Okay, set as wallpaper, please. Maybe I have to click on it. It's odd. Let's try it from here. That's weird. It might have something to do with the fact that we applied the theme, and the theme isn't letting us change the wallpaper. But let's go ahead and investigate that. Let's go to options. So over here, we have, of course, sounds and ringtones, network and connections, display, and I'm going to go to home screen preferences. And right now, this is what the wallpaper is, but I don't know why they wouldn't show up on the screen. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the theme, because I've been able to change themes before and be able to change my wallpaper to something other than the theme wallpaper, but let's just leave it at that for now. We have typing and language, the keyboard settings, spell check, custom dictionary for the keyboard, and even trackpad sensitivity. Pretty cool. I'm not going to mess with that though, because I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now. So for the device, we have everything here. Call management. So lots of options to manage your BlackBerry device, security, etc. Accessibility. Oh, this is pretty cool. Hold up. Reverse. Okay. Normal. Okay. No. Thanks. And then third-party applications, and right now I don't really have that many installed, so I have no options for that. And of course, if you're actually looking for something you don't want to navigate through all the menus, you can go ahead and search right up top. So I'll start typing. So Wi-Fi, there we go. I found you. Okay. So those are the options, and again with the whole theme and wallpaper thing. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to from that and go on to games. Oh. Okay. Word mole. Let's try Brickbreaker. Okay. So, let's try this. And you can see how well the colors work on the screen, as well as the resolution. Makes for a nice playing experience. You can also control this with the trackpad. Whoa, that's totally cool. I wonder what it'd be used for if it doesn't break the bricks. Hope like aliens don't start jumping out at me and starting to attack this pad that I have down here. But okay, so if I don't get it soon, okay, there we go. Anyways, I'm not going to spend my entire review playing this game, but that's a pretty good idea of what you have for games in the BlackBerry. They play well, and, you know, there's no lag, pretty much. I'm quite happy with it. And, before I end this review, I'm going to go over one thing, and that is your contacts list. So, right now I have no contacts because I don't have any friends at the moment. That, or I just, haven't synchronized my SIM card contacts because I haven't inserted a SIM card. But let's just say we have a new contact that we want to put in. We have all these options like super. Harry Potter. And he works for Puppet Pals. Oops, needs to be capitalized, you know. And, yeah, he doesn't feel like putting in his other information. But, let's just say we want to assign a contact information. Let's go ahead and look at our camera. And what we have for our camera is a 5-megapixel snapper with, flash and geotagging. So, let's just say I don't want flash at the moment. Right, what's this? Whoa! Scene modes! We have, auto, face detection, portrait, sports, landscape, party, close-up, snow, beach, night, and text. All complete with background so you know when exactly to use these scenes. So, I'm gonna say, since, you know, it's his profile picture, I'm gonna put face detection. Let's see if it'll detect the face of this fine, what is it? Are they, like, surfing? This fine surfer over here. Hope it detects the face. Probably not. Okay. No, it didn't. So anyways, as you can see, it doesn't really do a very good job of focusing in on the actual image that it's trying to take. Basically just becomes a blur because it's a single focus camera. So I'm gonna say, okay, this is cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and crop this amount for the contact picture. Say okay. Oops. Yeah. Or not. Hold up. Nope. Oh, I was just zooming in. My bad. But okay. I'm gonna go ahead and click back and changes made, save. And there you go. There's Super Harry Potter that works at Puppet Pals. And that is him in disguise. Okay, and once I'm done, I'm gonna go ahead and back, and if you notice, when I scroll down, there's no, like, save button. Well, if you click back, it's gonna say, like, oh my god, you made changes to Harry Potter, and you want to save them. I'm gonna say yes. And now you have a new contact, Super Harry Potter, who works at Puppet Pals. And that is a walkthrough of the Contacts application on the Blackberry Torch. And that pretty much wraps it for the Blackberry Torch. I hope you enjoyed this very in-depth review of this phone. It was a pleasure to review, and I would say 8 out of 10 for this one. It's a solid phone, pretty smooth web browser, although for occasional hiccup, but smooth nonetheless. And if you notice throughout this review, very smooth in performance as well. I didn't experience any lags. I mean, that many lags, if any at all lags. Because it's, you know, it has a 1.2 gigahertz processor. Blackberry OS 7, when I was walking you through, is very smooth and fluid. My only little gripe would be the Appworld and how I wish it could have more selection to rival that of the App Store and the new Android marketplace. But overall, it's great. Loudspeaker is great. Pictures work fine. Pinch to zoom is smooth. And there you go. I mean, the camera is a little bit of a disappointment, but overall, I think it's a solid phone. And you can always trust a Blackberry. They've been around. So, that wraps it up for the video review and unboxing of the Torch 2. I hope you enjoyed this video review. And if you do, and if you want to see more, go ahead and like this video as well as subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate your viewers and your comments. You viewers and your comments. And as busy as I am, I'll try and get back to you with your questions and concerns or cries of outrage. But for now, peace out, and I'll see you guys on the next video review or tutorial.